following is brought to you by crazy dog people everywhere.
And on the 9th day, God looked down on his wide-eyed children and said they need a companion. Somebody willing to wake up, give kisses, pee on a tree, sleep all day, wake up again, give more kisses, then stay up until midnight basking in the glow of a television set. So God made a dog.
And now, it's time for the Down with Dogs podcast, a dog cast dedicated to keeping your furry baby fit, healthy, and happy. Here's your host, Courtney, and her boy, Jackson.
All right, welcome to Down with Dogs. We're currently in my basement Down with Dogs studio, and today's guest is my sister, Kim.
Hi, everyone.
Kimber.
Yay.
Anyway, my sister Kim is from Florida. She's here visiting, and I thought it was important while she was here to discuss her dog Gigi, because her dog Gigi has been going through a bout of cancer. And I know that my sister has done some incredible things with her dog Gigi, awesome things with her health, and she's doing great right now. So why not spread the word? So let's start with, first of all, how old is Gigi?
She's 11 years old.
Wow, she's 11?
She's 11.
Oh my God.
But all of her liver and her kidneys, they say her tests come back perfect. So she's
Really?
in great health, besides the tumor.
And what kind of dog is she? What's the breed?
She is a Frenchie Pay, which is a cross between a French Bulldog and a Shar Pei.
All right, and then recently you just noticed strange behavior.
It was like a year and a half ago that I noticed it.
With the peeing? Or
Yeah,
what was
she was
going on?
straining to pee, and when I'd take her for walks, she would stop constantly, like, every few feet, and she would strain. So I thought she had a UTI.
Mm-hmm.
When I took her in, they confirmed she had a UTI and gave me antibiotics. I put her on the round of antibiotics, and it didn't change. And then I brought her back in again, and they gave me another round of antibiotics. She had ended up having 3 rounds of antibiotics.
Which, by the way, does a number on their stomach. Did you have her on a probiotic or anything?
No, they were. She handled it. She handled that okay. She handled that all right.
All right.
But when they realized it wasn't clearing up, which was definitely a waste of time, so I would suggest, like, if you ever notice your dog straining, you might want to check for a other problem besides UTI, because
Right.
she went through several months of just being on antibiotics.
So if they're straining, it could be a blockage, it could be crystals. There's like a million things it could be.
Right. If your first round of antibiotics don't work, I think, you may want to check. I don't know. But they finally sent me off to get x-rays and other tests done to see what was going on. And they found a mass on her bladder.
Okay.
And it's very small, but it's in an area you can't really reach, can't do surgery, and it's localized, which
Right.
means it's not supposed to spread. It's supposed to stay right there. And if it gets any bigger, though, it'll block her from being able to urinate completely.
Okay. So is this why she was straining to urinate, because she had a
Yes.
minor blockage or cancer?
Correct. She had a tumor blocking it. And so then I started with, I went to a specialist in Florida.
Right.
Civo Med, and it's a specialist in oncology for dogs. And we started with piroxicam, which is sort of like, I think, an anti-inflammatory. It wasn't really a chemotherapy drug.
Did they think that this would take swelling down
Yes.
and allow her to pee? Okay.
And they were hoping that maybe that would help. They really weren't sure. The other problem with this disease is that to really know for sure if it's a cancerous tumor or not, you have to aspirate it,
Sure.
which would drag the cancer through the body.
Right.
So they never aspirate it. So they were hoping that maybe it wasn't a cancerous tumor, even though they said like 90% of the time it is. So they're hoping at the time it was just a tumor and it wouldn't
Okay.
be cancerous. So we put her on the piroxicam, and then I did a lot of herbal things. Like I gave her Essiac tea. I would brew that and put it in her water.
Well, it's a tea?
It's a tea, and it's a blend of all different kinds of natural herbs.
Where would you get it?
Turkey tail and skullcap, and you can get it on Amazon. I got mine on Amazon.
And
a whole
what
bag
was
of
it called?
It's called Essiac tea, Essiac.
Is it for dogs or is it people?
It's for people too. People use it for cancer as well.
So you would brew it, let it cool completely, and then what? Put it in her water?
Add it to her water. I would add it to water, or add it to her food even.
Okay.
And I did notice at one point she wasn't drinking her water because it was in there, so I started putting it in her food. I don't think the flavor's that great.
How did it work?
So I gave her that, and then I was giving her CBD as well, CBD oil.
So wait,
ginger.
Let's go back to the CBD oil, because this is huge right now. Anything CBD is huge.
Right.
Where did you get it? Was it for dogs only?
Yes, I can't remember where I got it from. It was from an online pet store.
Okay.
But it wasn't Chewy.
Okay.
And it was one that came recommended. I did a lot of research, and I don't remember exactly.
So a CBD oil, And you would give
For
her
dogs.
drops in her mouth every day?
In her food. I put it right in her food.
Okay, all right.
And I also mixed in the ginger.
Yeah. Was it
and-
fresh ginger from the
No,
supermarket?
it was an essential extract. It was
Okay.
extract.
Okay.
And I would put in the shaga mushroom, which is another one. It's a shaga mushroom powder, I think it's called.
Okay.
And that's supposed to target tumors directly and shrink them.
Stop.
There was a few other things too. Turmeric. I put turmeric in there.
Turmeric is good, yeah.
And the next appointment she had, it had shrunk a little.
It did from
Yes.
all of those things, but that's a lot.
think?
So I feel like, and I'm not like judging you, like, but
nice.
you are my sister.
Exactly.
And we are drinking, so I can't judge you. Do you think if you were to give somebody advice, they should do one thing at a time so they know what was working, or is that I feel like you just threw a lot in there.
I did
like, just
research,
throw
and
that
there's
in
a lot, even a lot more than that.
Okay, all
So
right.
I picked the ones, for instance, one of the herbs might have been for anti-inflammatory, and one might have been for targeting the tumor. One might have
Okay.
been, to help her eat and not be
Okay.
nauseous.
All
It was
right.
just kind of a combination of stuff.
All right, and then you put it all in. You take her to the vet, and they notice the tumor has shrunk.
A little, it had shrunk a little.
Wow. Okay.
So I continued on that for probably another month or so. And then I brought her back in, and they said the tumor had grown a little bit. So that's when I decided to go with chemotherapy.
Okay, so chemotherapy, they probably suggested that they wanted probably you to do that in the first place, and you said, "Let me just try a few holistic things."
No, they were really, they can't advise you on holistic stuff because
Okay.
they're not trained in that.
Yeah.
But
The frig.
she was very open in,
Right.
and if what you decide to do,
Well,
and
it's
she
good.
kind
Okay.
of thought the peroxicam was a good thing to try to start,
Okay.
but just to keep an eye on her.
Okay.
So I started. They started chemo, and I think it was began with an M. Can't remember the name of it. Do you remember the name?
It's okay.
Began with an M.
By the way,
Know
we're
what you mean.
talking to her girlfriend Patty,
Hi, Patty.
who's sitting here.
Methotrexate. She knows the drugs, but she doesn't know dogs.
I
so.
love her. She doesn't know dogs, but
knows drugs.
she's our drug calculator over there. She's our girlfriend that doesn't have a dog, but she knows
she knows
drugs.
cancer drugs, all kinds of other drugs,
Okay,
so.
so what was it called? What?
Trexate.
Yes, methotrexate.
Thank you. Methotrexate. Okay.
And
So they wanted you to try methotrexate.
that's the one they put him on first. It was special for, I guess, the bladder cancer.
And that's a chemo
Yes,
treatment.
yes.
So when you go in, so I just want people to know that if their
Right.
dog has any type of cancer or bladder cancer, and they suggest methotrexate, which is a chemotherapy treatment, you bring your dog in, what happens?
Okay, so
Do they
the
put
first
them
thing they
under?
tell you is that
Okay.
dogs do not have the same side effects as humans do. It's very minimal. So that's why I decided to do it. They
Okay.
said there's probably like maybe 10% of dogs will have a reaction, but the others do not. The rest
Okay.
do not.
Okay.
They also do not sit through a whole day of infusions. It's a shot. It's a little one shot.
Okay.
She's there a half an hour.
Really?
A half an hour.
For
And
chemo, your
for
dog
chemo.
goes in. It's a half an
Yeah.
hour. You sit in the waiting room. They take him out back, or you go whatever.
Give her the shot and she's done.
and she's done. Okay. And so, what are some of the side effects? Did you notice anything?
Well,
or-
on the Metro, whatever Patty called it.
Methotrexate.
That's it.
Thanks, Patty.
She
Non-dog person, but drug person.
usually if they're gonna have a reaction, it's not right away. It's usually like 5 to 7 days later.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Reactions that are common would be like diarrhea, vomiting,
Okay.
nausea,
Okay.
stuff like that. And she experienced a little diarrhea. That was it.
That was
she didn't
it.
have anything else. So they gave me an
Okay.
anti-diarrhea pill.
Okay.
And that knocked it out. But besides that, she was energetic, happy, healthy. Her appetite was great,
Wow.
even on chemo. So I decided to continue with it because
And
she was fine.
They suggested methotrexate chemotherapy once a week, or how often?
It was at the time, it was every 2 weeks.
every 2 weeks. Okay.
And then it's kind of started to grow again. They did a checkup. So she switched it to vinblastine, which is another chemo drug for dogs.
Okay. Because the methotrexate had stopped working.
Stopped
like it was supposed to.
working, yeah.
Okay. So they switched another
So to
drug.
vinblastine, which she
Okay.
handled just as well as she did as the other one.
Okay.
And it started to shrink it again. It started
right.
to get smaller.
Yep.
But she had a lot of issues with, I had to still straining to urinate, a little bit of blood in the urine. Mm-hmm. They did recommend that if I do the chemo to not do as much herbal stuff. So during the time that I'm doing chemo,
Right.
I stopped the herbal treatments.
And that makes sense, because then you don't know what's working and what's not working. So
And they
this-
also don't know what reacts with each other. Things can
100%.
react, so.
Exactly. Okay.
She was having, like I said, blood in the urine, and I had to put PD pads down because she would have accidents in the house. But she usually slept through the night. the whole night.